What does Jupiter represent in astrology? In astrology, Jupiter is known as the planet of expansion, growth, wisdom, and higher meaning. As the largest planet in our solar system and the second brightest object in the sky after Venus, Jupiter is considered a diurnal, masculine, and benefic planet, bringing fortune, opportunity, and spiritual insight. Jupiter rules Sagittarius and Pisces, is exalted in Cancer, falls in Capricorn, and is in detriment in Gemini and Virgo. It is the natural ruler of the ninth house, which governs higher education, long-distance travel, philosophy, law, religion, and one's life vision. Its cycle around the zodiac takes roughly 12 years, staying in each sign for about 1 year, offering long-lasting, deep-rooted influence. Wherever Jupiter goes, it brings expansion, not just externally in wealth or success, but internally in consciousness, faith, and understanding. Key words associated with Jupiter: growth, generosity, optimism, truth, moral values, ethical systems, tolerance, abundance, justice, and spiritual wisdom. Yet, when unbalanced, Jupiter's energy can become excessive, indulgent, arrogant, or blindly idealistic. In mythology, Jupiter is equated with Zeus, king of the gods in Greek lore, and with the judge figure in Islamic astrology, symbolizing justice, divine order, and sacred wisdom. Jupiter's role is to help humans align with higher laws that go beyond man-made structures and reflect universal ethics. Jupiter promotes both material and spiritual growth. It supports our journey toward meaning, purpose, and contribution to the collective. It governs our inner compass, our sense of right and wrong, and it pushes us to rise above narrow beliefs to embrace a broader truth. However, when poorly placed in a birth chart, Jupiter's energy can be distorted. Instead of genuine growth, it may produce ego inflation, dogmatism, blind optimism, double standards, or reckless generosity. In such cases, the person may chase success without depth or preach beliefs without embodiment. Ultimately, Jupiter is the philosopher's planet, the voice of higher knowledge, moral responsibility, and faith in a greater design. Its influence shapes noble character, wise judgment, and the pursuit of a meaningful, principle-driven life. Jupiter is the moral compass of society. It governs ethics, religious values, social traditions, and the sense of what is right or just. It shows how we relate to law, philosophy, and the bigger questions of existence. But don't be fooled. Jupiter is not always good. It amplifies everything. Generosity and wisdom, yes, but also fanaticism, blind hope, spiritual arrogance, and inflated expectations. Its shadow can be just as massive as its promise. Jupiter is also connected to travel, foreign cultures, migration, and the idea of going beyond borders, whether physically or mentally. It rules long journeys, higher education, and universal knowledge. In mythology, Jupiter is Zeus, the king of gods, mighty, powerful, and indifferent to the struggles of ordinary people. As ancient astrologers warned, Jupiter is the god of gods, not the god of humans. In medical astrology, Jupiter's expansive nature doesn't only manifest in mental or spiritual growth. It also extends into the physical body. In medical astrology, Jupiter is strongly linked to cellular growth, tissue expansion, fat accumulation, and overall enlargement processes in the body. When Jupiter is in a challenged or afflicted position, its natural tendency to expand can lead to unhealthy outcomes, such as obesity, fluid retention, hormonal imbalances, or even tumorous growths. Jupiter also governs the liver, circulatory system, metabolism, and sugar-related conditions like diabetes. If Jupiter forms a harsh aspect with a disease-related indicator in a natal chart, it may not only amplify the issue, but also complicate it, triggering multiple conditions at once or making a health matter more widespread or chronic. That's why in medical astrology, Jupiter should never be seen only as protective. It can act like a magnifier, intensifying both healing and disease processes. In mundane world astrology, In mundane astrology, Jupiter represents the legal system, religion, higher education, moral values, and a nation's ideological and philosophical compass. As the ruler of Sagittarius and Pisces, it governs universities, courts, churches, global ethics, and spiritual institutions on a societal level. Jupiter also rules over foreign relations, diplomats, ambassadors, tourism, publishing, mass media, and global migration. It is linked to matters involving air travel, naval activity, and even space exploration. Jupiter's transits and aspects in mundane charts can indicate major legal reforms, religious or philosophical shifts, international crises, or ideological tensions on a global scale. Because Jupiter represents popularity, spread, and ideological influence, it plays a central role in mass media movements, cultural trends, and religious leadership power. Whether it's a viral belief system, a popular ideology, or a nation's spiritual reputation, Jupiter is at the core. In short, Jupiter in world astrology acts like a moral compass for nations. When it's well placed, it inspires. When it's distorted, it can fuel fanaticism, excess, or cultural oppression. 1. Elevated expression. When expressed with awareness and balance, Jupiter represents wisdom, growth, and a pursuit of higher meaning. Its elevated form shows up as inspiring leadership that influences without overpowering, deep expertise and cultural refinement, humility, the wisdom to say, "I don't know," respect for personal freedom and healthy boundaries, the ability to synthesize information into knowledge, the courage to question popular beliefs, the archetype of the wise teacher, ethical, inclusive, and guiding. 2-point shadow expression. But when Jupiter's energy becomes excessive or unconscious, its expansion turns into distortion. Its shadow includes losing influence or credibility, presenting beliefs as truth without real understanding, acting like an expert outside one's domain, arrogance, exaggeration, and self-importance, stagnation in personal development, violating others' freedoms or boundaries, inability to distinguish real knowledge from false claims, equating popularity with truth, ungratefulness for what's already accessible, mental or informational chaos, inability to integrate knowledge. In this state, Jupiter becomes the symbol of inflated ego, masked as wisdom. Jupiter's burden of excess and shadow effects. Jupiter is a planet that naturally expands, amplifies, and spreads whatever it touches. But this expansion isn't always positive. Depending on the sign it falls in, the aspects it forms, especially harsh ones, and the house it resides in, Jupiter's energy can become unbalanced, leading to extremes, or even caricature-like distortions. In astrology, this is known as the burden of excess. It's where Jupiter overextends itself to the point where growth turns from beneficial to harmful. Let's break it down with examples. Jupiter in hard aspect to Mercury. It amplifies information, but instead of clarity, it creates confusion. The person talks a lot, but says very little, almost like constant preaching. There may be excessive opinions, gossip, mental clutter, or inflated ideas. Example: someone who shares their opinion in every conversation, but never truly listens. Martian Jupiter, influenced by Mars, may believe they have a right to everything. You might see reckless courage, impulsive actions, or aggressive belief defense. Example: someone who reacts explosively in the name of a cause, even resorting to verbal or physical aggression. Lunar Jupiter, influenced by the moon. Emotions are exaggerated. Growth happens through feelings, but without control. This person may always see themselves as the victim and struggle to understand others' boundaries. Example: someone who overreacts emotionally and constantly plays the victim when challenged. Venusian Jupiter, influenced by Venus, obsessed with being liked and admired, may display false humility, approval addiction, or excessive vanity. Example: someone who constantly posts for validation, overly focused on beauty or romantic display. Saturnian Jupiter, influenced by Saturn. Instead of growth, this Jupiter brings fear and restriction. The person either feels crushed by authority or becomes authoritarian themselves. Example, a dogmatic leader who believes they alone know the truth and harshly judge others. Jupiter in detriment, e.g. in Capricorn. In this position, the person grows not through inner wisdom, but by controlling others. Ethical development is weak, yet they love to impose rules. Example, someone who seeks success at all costs, even if it means compromising morals. Conclusion. Where Jupiter falls, unchecked growth can turn into bloat and progress into distortion. That's why it's crucial to interpret Jupiter carefully by sign, house, and aspects. Jupiter can offer you wisdom or inflated ego, so always ask, what is Jupiter expanding in me? If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. We'll continue diving deeper into the wisdom of astrology together. In the next episode, we'll explore the challenging and transformative world of Saturn. And very soon, more astrology shorts will be added as well. Stay tuned to keep learning the language of the skies.